Let us come and hear the word of God as is found in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verses 21 to 43. It's a story about the girl restored to life and a woman who is healed. When Jesus had crossed again in the boat to the other side, a great crowd gathered around him. He was by the sea. Then one of the leaders of the synagogue named Jairus came, and he saw him and fell at his feet and begged him repeatedly, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her so that she might be made well and live." So he went with him, and a large crowd followed him and pressed in on him. Now there was a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhage for 12 years. She had endured much under many physicians and spent all that she had, and she was no better, rather grew worse. She had heard about Jesus and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his clothes. For she said, "If I but touch his clothes, I will be made well." And immediately her hemorrhage stopped. She felt in her body that she had been healed of her disease. Immediately aware that the power had gone forth from him, Jesus turned about in the crowd and said, "Who touched my clothes?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing in on you. How do you say, 'Who touched me?'" He looked around to see who had done it. The woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling, falling down before him, and told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." While they were still speaking, some people from the leader's house came to say, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" But overhearing what they said, Jesus said to the leader of the synagogue, "Do not fear, only believe." He allowed no one to follow except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the house of the leader of the synagogue, he saw a commotion, people weeping and wailing loudly. When he had entered, he said to them, "Why do you make such a commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping." They laughed at him. Then he put them all outside and took the child's father and mother and those who were with him and went into the house where the child was. He took her by the hand and said to her, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, get up." And immediately the little girl got up and began to walk about. She was about 12 years of age. At this, they were overcome with amazement. He strictly ordered them that no one should know this and told them to give her something to eat. This is the word of God. Let us give thanks.